Voters in New South Wales go to the polls twice this year for state and federal elections, and there are growing calls for the ever-increasing cost of childcare to be one of the big issues. Now, I'm joined in the studio by the CEO of the Australian Childcare Alliance, Chang Lim. Chang, good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Look, working parents know all too well just how expensive childcare is, especially in Sydney. I am one of them. We are looking at costs of $200 plus, which is just outrageous. Why is it so expensive?
Well, I am one of them too. I'm a father with 3 kids in childcare as well.
Wow.
We have, as parents, the triple effect. So in New South Wales, we generally have the highest cost of housing. We also have the highest cost of labour. And in New South Wales, arguably, we have the highest regulatory costs in the country. So when you add those 3 together, it actually propels childcare fees higher.
We talked about Sydney and New South Wales. Is it similar around the rest of the country?
Similar but different. So different states deal with it differently, the way how they actually treat cost of living. So for example, in New South Wales, a 4-year-old preschooler in long daycare gets only $456 per child per year in long daycare by the government. Yet, for example, in Victoria, they get $3,695
wow, that's a huge
of
difference.
Subsidy,
yeah.
Massive difference. So why does one state do it better than another state?
Look, you could argue that the whole country needs looking at, and you know, this is all. In this day and age where a lot of women work, most women work, and it just becomes a financial argument whether or not that women should go back to work. And I think the other thing for families is too, if childcare workers were being paid a lot of money, we would be more happy to pay these fees. But they're one of the lowest paid workers in the country. So I think for families, there's a real disparity about the money that we're paying, and we just can't see that value for money, I guess.
The difficulty is we need to figure out a better system of how to address this problem. Let's have a whole root and branch review of the entire system. And particularly in New South Wales, when the regulatory costs and the processes and the red tape is far more in New South Wales than any other state. And even when the OECD last year said that Australia has the highest childcare fees in the world, that really, you have to take up and take notice of that.
Absolutely, yeah. It's impacting families, it's impacting workplaces who are losing a lot of the female workforce because they just can't afford it. Yeah. What would you like to see from an inquiry? Well,
let's start off with a very simple thing. Let's stop the blame game between which government is to blame, and let's stop the assumption that what type of childcare is at fault. Let's start with where is the system failing? And let's come up with all the best ideas, which there are plenty out there already, where the best ideas, where the best solutions to solve the problem, to maintain the quality childcare that we already have, but do it in a way which actually achieves cheaper costs.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I just think there should be working parents on the board that just actually experience it and know what it's like. I think sometimes in government, they're just making decisions and actually not knowing how it's impacting families. And for childcare workers as well, I know they get frustrated that parents tell them all the time that it's so expensive, but they're not seeing the benefit. Let's hope that inquiry happens. Thank you so much for joining us on the show, Mr. Lee.